Hey everyone, have I here bring a video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. In this video, we're going to be doing our full breakdown and the team builds for the global version of the 8-year anniversary's LR Spirit Bomb GT. So with that, if you're new to my channel, like, subscribe, comment below, do all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and dive right in. And of course, first and foremost, we start with the card arts, and I really like the colors that this unit provides, right? That deep red with that Super Saiyan 4 look on there. I like both SSRs and TURs. Do I like it better than the Spirit Bomb Z? It's tough. I think they're both has its pluses on here. I think I just like the colors here a little bit better, but again, very close when it comes to both of those 8-year anniversary units on here. The LR, I would say, on the other hand, because of the different card assets that the Z has, I might want to go with the Z over the GT, but the GT unit's still incredible. You are going to see the animation to the standby skill there once I show you that, and it looks really awesome once it does the full animation. And I've often said that, hey, we need to start toggling these extra assets a part of the thumbnail, where the thumbnail kind of holds there and kind of switches up into the transformation and things of that nature. I would love to see that in the future. So Dokkan, get on that to make that happen. So let's go ahead and let's dive into the breakdown here. The Miraculous Final Battle, GT Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. Stats are solid, 21,009 for HP, almost 21,000, or actually 20,420 for attack, and then 15,000 right off straight up for defense, which is really strong. Now, just like the Z unit, it does have power wishes as the 170%, but it is a double category 200% leader here with power wishes and then Battle of Fate, and then final trump card and Shadow Dragon Saga as the additional 30% for the 200%. Now, I do like final trump card more as the 170 boost than Battle of Fate. Battle of Fate has some great units as well. You're going to see the different options you have comparable to Z, but I think the final trump card just has a little bit more benefit overall, but again, a slight benefit. And then of course Shadow Dragon Saga is very limited when it comes to the units that it's actually on there, versus like Majin Buu Saga. Even though Majin Buu Saga doesn't really have that many final trump cards, power wishes units, you do have some additional availability there. But anyway, leader skill still is a strong leader skill there. Then you have the super attack and ultra super attack. That is basically the opposite of the Z unit, where your raises attack as a stacking ability versus defense, and then raises defense for 1 turn and causes colossal damage to enemy. And then the 18 key raises attack, or greatly raises attack, and then greatly raises defense for 1 turn and causes mega colossal damage to enemies. So the GT unit stacks on its super attacks for attack, whereas the Z unit stacks for defense. You might go, wait a minute, well, you've been saying that GT is better than the Z unit, but the Z unit stacks defense, which is more valuable. Well, yeah, in a case that's just right. However, they make it up in the passive skill, because the passive skill in of itself, like, everything is the same as the Z unit except for one line, right? So the passive skill here is attack and defense 200% plus an additional attack and defense 50% when HP 50% or more, which is most of the time, and plus additional defense 100% and additional key +1 per key sphere obtained as the first attacker in a turn, plus an additional 100% and additional key +2 key sphere obtained when you're the second or third attacker in a turn. It launches additional attack and has a great chance of becoming super attack when key is 18, and launches an additional super attack guaranteed when key is 24. So that is very important. Here's the extra line that's different than the Z unit, where the Z unit is focused on critical hits, right, and then stacking defense. This is stacking SA multiplier, and then you're getting damage mitigation. So plus an additional key +1, and reduces damage received by 10% up to 50% with each super attack performed. And when you think about, if you're able to get to key to 24, you should be able to shoot out a guaranteed 2 super attacks, and then maybe proc an additional 1 with your hidden potential. There's 3, so in a sense 2 turns. 3 at the worst to maximize the damage mitigation. And when you look at damage mitigation between stacking, damage mitigation is much more valuable because it scales with the damage, the enemy in of itself. Whereas when you're stacking defense, you have to kind of meet up to that enemy's SA. You're going to get that flat out reduces damage for 50%. You rather have that. So super OP is that ability of getting that much damage mitigation, and also at a really short time as well. Standby skill, exactly the same as Z here. Switch to standby for 5 turns and can be activated when HP is 50% or less, receiving 4 or more attacks during the battle, starting from the 4th turn of the battle. I'll dive into the standby skill in 1 second here. The link skill, Saiyan Warrior Race, Saiyan Lineage, Experienced Fighters, GT, Prepare for Battle, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. And then categories, very valuable here, of course. Shadow Dragon Saga, Pure Saiyans, Join Forces, Final Trump Card, All Out Struggle, Kinetic Hope, Powerful Comeback, GT Heroes, Battle of Fate, Bond of Parent Child, and Power of Wishes. So that's the stats there. So once you go into standby, right? So the standby, you can see the little animation here, which is really great here. So when you're in standby, you have a SA multiplier, greatly raises attack for 1 turn, causes colossal damage to enemies to 12 key. The Ultra Super Attack greatly raises attack for 1 turn, causes mega colossal damage to the enemy, and then raises super class allies by 40%. 40% for 1 turn for the attack there. So very strong. So the difference between this and the Z is you can still fight with this unit, right? You can still fight with this unit here. And this unit also has this ability for revival, right? So as you're fighting here, your passive skill is attack 250% with an additional defense 150% when HP 50% or more. All allies, that's crazy. All allies key +8 and attack 80%, and then you're able to revive with HP 100% when a character or ally attacking in the same turn is KO'd. Plus an additional attack 39% when performing a finishing attack. So while you're figuring all this out, right, you're trying to capture some additional benefit when it comes to the finishing attack. Well, finishing attack is super ultra spirit bomb, and it basically counters with extreme power against an opponent who KOs the character. So basically you're waiting for your character to get KO'd, and then you're gonna have this ability to perform this finishing attack here, which is the super ultra spirit bomb. Again, it's very cool. So, and then can be activated when revival skill is activated. So that's basically what it does. And again, making this unit just incredibly strong, having a revival mechanic, which is already a broken mechanic from the 6-year anniversary. So anyway, that is the unit in of itself. Very powerful unit. Again, I think standalone, this is probably going to be the best unit in the game up against LROP Orange Piccolo, right? So those are the two that kind of have to decide which one's going to be the best there. The leader skill here versus superheroes, I'll have to really decipher that. Now let's talk about the teams and the buildups here. So the 200%, you do have some interesting options. So as I build these teams, if you have both the Z and GT unit, right, you're going to run those in the same rotation. They link up well together. They're incredibly strong together. So you'll see that in basically most of these builds. However, we don't have the Spirit Bomb AGL unit EZA yet. That's going to happen in part 2. I just put it on here just because it links very well with the GT unit. You can go ahead and replace that with maybe the Super Saiyan 4 units, things of that nature. Some other options you can run. Same thing with the EZA to Blue Vegito. That's going to also happen in the future. So again, you have some alts that you can go ahead and put that in there. So the team as of right now, when you're playing it right now, isn't as strong as it could be once all these units actually fall in. So if you are wanting to run a full 200%, you might just run the Super Saiyan 4 units on here versus the Blue Vegito and then the EZA to Spirit Bomb Goku. Now you can run a very powerful unit here in the Piccolo Jr. So that unit of itself could just do its thing by himself, which is crazy, incredible. And you're running him at a 200%. Also the support unit as the MVP 17, a great support unit that you can run. Now when you add the 170% along with the 200%, right, when you can't or don't have to run the 200%, you have a lot of options. Very strong options that you can run. Of course, you have LROP. Unfortunately, that is running only at 170%. You have LR Bulma, same thing, 170%. You have the Carnival Goku that's going to be upcoming at 170. But if you don't have that, or you can't wait for that, you can go ahead and run the World Tournament Goku there, as well as another alter option. And then you have these other options down here on the bottom as well. When you're running 170, here's a, and you go, well, I don't have the Z unit. Let's go ahead. What kind of options can I run for that? Well, if you don't have the Z unit, you actually can run LRGG as the first position there, and then the GT unit backing up. You can run that crazy Piccolo and Bulma rotation. Unfortunately, it's only running at 170, but at this current time it really kind of doesn't matter. And then you're going to run the other GT unit as a floater, which is very weird and strange, but it can work out. It's not optimal just due to the fact that you are going to run up against another GT Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, right? That's going to be problematic because you're not going to link up. So you generally want them in in main rotations. So you could just say, okay, well, I'm not going to run OP on there. I could run OP as a floater unit, which is kind of weird and crazy, but yeah, you could go ahead and do that. So you can have both, both on the what's going on here? Both on the main rotations as a GT. But if you don't, you can run something like this, and again, you have a multitude of different options at running a 170. A weird and still very fun team that you can run is an extreme team, which generally you don't run with units like this. So you have GT running as floaters, and then you can run these units on here. And I didn't actually point out the 170, so let me actually point out the 170 units on this very quickly. So I just realized I didn't do that. So 170 and 170, and actually let me double check on this on here. So no, so that's 200. So let me go ahead and take that back. So this is 200, and I believe this is 170, right? Rose, I think Rose is 170 as well, right? Yeah, that's only 170 there, and Rose Masu is 170, so there you go. Anyway, but Mirza Masu is not. He runs at 200%, so there you go. You can run a Piccolo. Who cares what the next person is? You just Piccolo just wrecks shop, and then you can actually run a Rose Masu and a Mirza Masu in the same rotation. So it's something different, something different. You can run, a Golden Frieza and a Full Power Frieza in a rotation here. You can run, the Super 17. You can run these as a rotation. So again, a little versatility. Generally, you're not going to run something like that, but the flexibility, if you wanted to, just to have a little bit of fun, is at least fairly interesting, right? If you're running this extreme team on here. But I would say generally you're going to be running 170s, the combination of the 170s on here, or even at the full 200%. All very good, right? I think the bench strength for this team isn't as strong as the Final Trump card, but as like I mentioned before, Battle of Fate is still very, very strong. So that's pretty much some simple team builds that you can run. Again, nothing too crazy except for maybe this extreme team here, but overall, I think the GT unit as a standalone unit is one of the best. It fits on a bunch of different teams as well, and it's going to be highly, highly valuable for a very, very long time. So tell me what you guys like to build with the GT team here, and if you are new to my channel, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And anyway, thank you all for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this here, and yeah, again, thanks for watching. Keep on Dokkaning. We'll catch you next time. Later.